Hello, 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 and happy freaking Friday, Amber. How are you?
Friday.
I am so freaking excited about today's live stream for like 100 reasons, but the main one is we have had some crazy stories happen with clients over the last 7 years of working together. And I am so excited because we're going to just call some people out. We're not going to use names, of course, confidentiality. We're professionals, right, Amber? But we
Yeah.
are absolutely going to tell you guys what not to do when you're applying for a loan. Okay, so we're going to go in here. If you are watching us live, thank you as always for joining us. My name is Lacey McCarty. I am your realtor and Las Vegas expert. This is my best friend, Amber Coleman. She is one of the top 200 lenders in the freaking nation. She's one of the best for a reason, and she has seen it all. Can you tell how excited I am about today's live
know
stream?
it's like a drama day. Let's get all into the drama. You're
Okay,
excited about it.
I am like so stoked. I'm just so stoked because I'm still angry at a few of these clients. I'm not gonna lie, but that's just me. So anyway, if you're watching us live, I just want to throw it out there. Of course, this is a shameless plug. We are here to help you. If you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, we definitely want to know about it. Not 10 years from now, not yesterday, not today. I want to know about it today. So if you're thinking about it, just do me a favor, text me at the number that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, or you can click the link in the description or the pinned comment. We would love to chat with you and just start your journey to Las Vegas today, because you know that's where you want to be. We want to get you from where you are to where you want to be, right here in our neon hometown. Okay, yes. Amber, juicy, crunchy client stories. I'm like sweating. I'm so excited about this.
You want the drama, don't you? You want the drama.
I love it. Story time. Story time. So Amber, yes, we've done quite a few deals together over the last 7-8 years that we've been working together. I'm so grateful that you are so good at your job. We want to help you guys understand what actually happens when you lie on a mortgage application. So we're going to tell some stories. Amber, can we please start with my favorite one? You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes, let's start with it. Okay. So being truthful on the application is so very important, and we're gonna show you so many different reasons why it's so important to be so truthful on the application, and it's not hard, to be honest with you. Okay, so so here's the first story, and we've got
wait. Don't gamble. Look at that. Isn't this perfect timing? Perfect set. I also wanted to say we're gonna tell you what happens when you do lie, so stay to the end. We're gonna start with some stories though. Okay, go ahead. I'm so excited for this one.
Exciting drama. Okay. So the first story, the client came in, filled out the application. We spoke. He had a job and gave me pay stubs, gave me all the documentations, got him fully pre-qualified, ready to go out looking for houses, writing contracts, right? We got to the very end of found a house, was super excited. It was everything that he wanted, right? Got to the very end of the process, and we were in to the point where we're getting docs out. So underwriting was completely cleared, all the drama that you go through there. We were in docs. We have to verify everything before the house closes all the time. That's part of actually the laws in TRID, where we have to third party verify everything.
Yep.
So we verify employment, which most of the time isn't a problem, right? But in this case, the employer came back and said, he hasn't been employed for over a month. And we were like, what? How is that right? So not over a month. So when I look at it, it was about a week after the application was taken, no job. Keep in mind, you're signing on the application that if there's any changes that happen within the process, then we're to be notified, right? So there's no job happening. So I made the phone call and I said, there must be a problem right now. I don't know if there's a problem with your employer or what's happening, but we verified employment and they're saying that you don't work there. And he's like, well, what, are they giving you trouble? No, other than they're just saying that you don't work there. Do you still work there? And he's like, well, we had to separate ways. And I was like, when? Because it's saying this date on there. Well, yeah, that's when it was. So over a month ago, but you didn't say anything. You always alluded to you still having the job, like at this point. So you didn't say anything. I said, okay, so just as long as you're still working, that's okay. So where did you go for the new job?
Now let me pause you here. Because this client throughout the process was probably one of the most difficult, angry, sourpuss, downright mean people I have ever met. Not to mention I was getting some inappropriate text messages from this person in the middle of the night that I didn't think his wife would have appreciated. So he was putting both of us in a very precarious situation, right? Not fun. I'm not going to use any names. maybe. No, I'm not going to use any
No,
names,
no
but
names.
it was just not a healthy experience across the board. Right. So we get to the place to where he's put me through the ringer. I mean, through the ringer to get him into a house, to keep the contract. Well, we were also selling his house for him. So we had like a lot on the line. And we get to the place to where he's the kind of guy that, like, if you text him a message, he replies within 3 seconds. There's no time in between. If you ask him a question, he replies right away. What happened when you asked him if he was working again, Amber?
He was working again. So he sent me over pay stubs for the new job. It took a little bit to send me over pay stubs, but we got new pay stubs for the new job. So then what happens when anytime, again, we as a lender have to third party verify everything that we've received, everything that we received. So when we went to third party verify, reach out to the employer, they could no longer work with me to get a verification of employment for whatever reason was never told.
I'm going to say what you can't say. I'm going to say what you can't say. I think it was a BS job, and I think he made up the new pay stubs. That's what I'm going to say. Go right ahead, though, please.
But in the end, everybody went through all of this. There was a house to sell. There was earnest money that was lost, right?
Yep.
Because you went to the very end of the process. And simply because you didn't say, hey, I quit my job, there's stuff, or not, I quit, I lost, whatever happened, it doesn't matter. Like, again, judge free zone, right?
Yeah.
Like, just say what happens, because it's going to be found out. We have to third party verify in the end. So in the very end, earnest money was lost. No house was sold, right? Yeah. Like everybody lost in this situation because there was a change that happened that was tried, that it looked like to me somebody tried to hide and not say what happened.
Absolutely. So. Now, great story. Story number 1. Stay tuned. We've got more stories. That's just one. Can you guys tell I'm still angry with that client? I'm just angry because he just made me feel super slimy, and I didn't like what I was getting text message wise from him in the middle of the night. That was not fun. So first thing that'll happen, obviously, if you lie on your loan application, is loan approval process is going to get canceled. We're not going to have a loan approval. That's going to be the first thing that happens. There's going to be a lot more. So throughout the story time, I'm going to share other consequences that you may have to go through and may experience if you do lie on your loan application. Amber, can we talk about Karen? It is a fake name. Not my name today, although the hair definitely fits the bill. It's not my name. I put my Karen hair away. Tell me about Karen. Tell us about Karen.
Let's go fabulous today, by the way.
I'm just having a good hair day. I've had a good week. I've had a really good week. I don't know why I've had a good week. I'm eating holiday candy corn. If you guys hate candy corn, look away. I love it. And I'm eating the holiday version of candy corn for breakfast and lunch. So
is that your favorite candy corn?
No, it's my favorite, but I'll eat it all damn day. Anyway, go ahead. It's like I'm eating popcorn for the story time. Keep going, girl. Give me the next story.
Okay. So this one was really good try, to be honest with you. So this lady had a part-time job, right? So we tried to qualify her on a part-time job, and she didn't make enough money as a part-time employee. So then a couple months later, she came back and said, okay, now I'm full-time. I'm going to send you pay stubs to show I'm full-time. Great. Because as a full-time employee working 40 hours at whatever she made hourly, it made it to where she could qualify for a loan, right? So like, okay, great. Send me pay stubs. So this lady was really sneaky what she did, honestly. So she sent me pay stubs and she sent me updated bank statements. She had made it to where that what she made on the pay stubs, she went in and used a different font to change it on her bank statements too, so that you could see like what actually, like, so it matched her pay stubs. So she
altered a document and then submitted it to you as if it was true.
Well, she made pay stubs and she altered her bank statements.
Wow.
And yeah, to make it look like it was true. And so, but what she didn't realize is that, and she honestly used a pretty decent font too to alter it. But once you look into it, you can kind of see it. But what she didn't realize is that we again have to third party verify anything that's put on a loan application. So we went to her employer to get a verification of employment, and they kept coming back with much, much, much lower numbers than what shows on her pay stub. So finally, I had to make a call to the employer and say, okay, I'm not sure where the difference is, because obviously I'm not going to think anybody's doing anything wrong, right? I'm not sure where the difference is here, but we're getting pay stubs that show much different numbers than what you're actually giving me for verification of employment. And they couldn't understand it either. So I said, can you just send me maybe the last pay stub, or like we can talk about the last pay stub. So then when it was verified, the hours were being changed. So the whole pay stub was being changed, and we had basically a fake pay stub to be able to show what was, like what was real. And then on the bank statements, it was matching what was on the pay stubs. So then I called her and I said, hey, I spoke to your employer and we went over your pay stubs, and the pay stubs they're giving you versus the pay stubs you're giving me are completely different. So just be straight up with me right now and tell me what's going on. She was like, so then she came clean, and after a lot of prodding, she came clean and said, Amber, I'm sorry. I want this house badly. And I knew that I had to be able to make more money, which I know I'm going to be getting a new job in the future. So I pretended and gave you pay stubs that weren't really real, and then gave you bank statements that weren't really real too.
Which then could lead to legal consequences, my friends. Legal consequences could genuinely come from that experience. Sorry to interrupt you, but like, this is what people don't take into account. What else happened?
Yeah, that's called fraud for housing. So, so then she actually offered to pay me to keep my mouth shut.
Hold on. Once again, legal consequences. Just want to jump in here once again and just let you guys know that has severe legal consequences. Go right ahead.
So what happens at that point, if you're going for a government loan, it has to be notified to FHA, VA, like their case number that's on the loan, if there's something that's happened and the reason for the lender denying it, right? So then it has to be notified to FHA. So when you go to do a loan application after that, if you go with somebody different or somebody else, then they're going to be immediately notified what happened, on the loan application, that there was possible fraud or something like that happened. So like it could damage. So if she were to be able to get a job in the future, as she hoped to do, but she wanted this house right now, then it affected her future ability because of what happened in that circumstance of wanting to be able to like lie to be able to get a house, or falsify documents to be able to get a house.
So Amber, first of all, I want to do story time with you on a more regular basis. First, I don't have to do much talking. I'm just sitting here like eating my candy corn, having a good old time with this. This is great. I think the comments are loving it. The viewers are loving it. Just want to say hi to everybody who's joining us live. Thank you all for tuning in. We've got quite a few people jumping in here into the comments. If you guys have questions for us about this or anything related to moving to Vegas or houses or where I get my hair done or why I'm smiling this week, you just drop it like it's hot in the comment box below, and maybe we'll have a little story time. But with that being said, I wanted to jump in here. Boomer said, she offered to pay you, WTF, LOL. Boomer. Yes. And as I said before, that can have, boom, legal consequences.
All of it.
Okay, Amber, I've got a couple of other things in here, guys. Please drop your questions in. We're going to answer them in just another minute. I'm going to talk through some other consequences. Amber's going to give us one more story. Oh,
I mean, honestly, I can go on all day. I got these are just off the top of my head stories.
I know.
I could go on all day.
We're going to give one more because we want to do things in threes, and then I'm going to run through a few things that could be consequences, but we want you guys to ask us questions. That's what these live streams are for. Yes, we're coming on to talk about a certain topic, but we're here for you. Drop it like it's hot in the comment box below. We would love to chat with you. And then also, if you're thinking about moving to Vegas, I'm going to give another shameless plug. We are the judge-free zone. We don't care what your credit looks like or what your life looks like. Even if you've done something like what we're talking about, we still love you and we want to help you. So click the link in the description, or of course, text me at the comment box, or text me at the number below. I'm all frazzled. Okay, last story.
Okay, so this is another one that had to do with employment, right? So like on the application, you're going to list 2 years worth of employment, and you have to be employed at the time of work, because keep in mind, a bank's going to verify that you have the ability to repay that mortgage in the future, right? So if you quit your job the day before you close, you don't have another job lined up. How is anything going to be verified, right? So like this person was moving from one place to another place, and he had a job offer letter in place. So you can close a loan based on a job offer letter, but we are always going to verify the job offer. So he had one job on his loan application. We went to verify it, and he didn't work anymore. Quit his job.
Oops.
So then I was like, okay, mental note, tell me when you're doing stuff so I
Hold
can
on.
tell
I
you
gotta
not
pause you.
to do.
Listen to how sweet you are. No, you caught someone lying. You're in deep water. And Amber's response is, okay, now mental note. Let's talk. Let's come clean. I wish you were my mom. That's all I'm saying. I wish you were my mother. Go ahead.
This
Oh
puts you
my
in a
God.
bad place because you have earnest money at stake. So you go in in an application, you're giving them 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, depending on the size of the house. So there's
Yeah.
money that you have literally put at stake, and we like to protect your money, even if it's from yourself, right? So
Yeah.
like, if something happens, just say what happened so that we can tell you, because it might be before due diligence. It might be before, like, there's different ways to handle things. So like, this person quit the job, didn't say anything. We verified the employment, came back that it was quit, blah, 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 all the stuff happened. So then I said, okay, we are where we are right now. We can quit the transaction, or if you've already set up another job, then send me a job offer letter to show
Right.
that what you've gotten in the new job, what it's going to pay, when it's going to start, all that fun stuff. So then he sends me a job offer letter, and we verify the job offer letter, and it's verified through somebody that has. So remember, anytime that we're going to verify anything, we're going to make sure that the phone number is legit and the email address is legit, because we're a mortgage company, right? We have access to things. So we call a regular cell phone number that belongs to a person. We have to call a work number to verify. So I'm given a regular phone number that's on this job offer letter to call that doesn't belong to a company, and then a Gmail account. 2 red flags right there. So because a Gmail account could be anybody, they don't necessarily have to work for the company that he works for. It's not a company email address. So we call the number and say, hey, can you give us your work number, because we have to verify off of a work number, or your work email address, because we have to verify a work email address. And come to find out, neither of those exist, because the job offer letter wasn't a true job offer letter.
Oops. Oops. Whoops.
So everything is third party verified, even the phone numbers that are given. So it's just better to do things right than to put your money online like that, because he lost his earnest money in the end, because he couldn't get a house, didn't have a job.
And there you go.
And everybody lost out, including himself. He didn't have a home. So it's just better to do it the right way. That's a lot of drama, right? And I could go on all day with drama.
I know you could. I know. First of all, a round of applause for you for being one of the greatest storytellers ever and delivering it so sweetly. Amber, like, I would love to get in trouble with you. If I was going to get in trouble with anyone, it has to be you. It had to be you. All right. Let me jump over here and talk a little bit about some of the things that can actually happen. These folks, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you the end of the story because I don't really know. I'm out of it. Once I realize we've been lied to and we can no longer assist you, I'm out of it. No judgment, of course. I just got to get away from it. But first and foremost, legal consequences. I've thrown that up there a couple times on the screen. False representation is a huge, huge no-no. It can lead to both civil and criminal penalties depending on the severity and the intent. So you guys have to be really, really careful about that kind of stuff. Now, an accidental thing that you've put on a document, it's very obvious what's accidental and what's possibly intentionally being put on there wrong. Am I right, Amber?
Absolutely. Accidents happen all the time. People will mark that they're not a U.S. citizen and they are a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Those kind of things like that happens all the time. That's easy, but intentionally makes a difference.
Lenders do have the right to take legal action against individuals who misrepresent kind of what they're doing. So it can result in lawsuits, fines, and even imprisonment in extreme cases. We don't want to be in the news, guys. So stay away from that. Voiding the contract, of course, is going to be the thing that happens, of course, immediately at all times. But main things, though, is I don't want you going to jail. I don't want you having any fines. Let's just be up above board. Credit score impact is another thing that we haven't talked about, but I know that it can also be reported. Lying on a mortgage application can result in negative reporting to credit bureaus, and that can impact your credit score significantly. I don't know that any of these people who we talked about today have had that experience happen, but obviously we all know a lower credit score is going to affect your ability to basically qualify for anything. Long-term consequences, when it comes to like a tarnished credit score, especially with something like fraud, it can have huge long-lasting effects and really be challenging to obtain any kind of financing outside of even just a house. buying a car, starting a business, or even, of course, renting a house. Renting a home and showing that you have anything false, like a fraud experience on your credit, no. And even if you're approved for a mortgage, and I wanted to check with you on this one, I made a note of this one. I was going to ask you, if you're approved for a mortgage with false information, lenders may offer less favorable terms, such as higher interest rates. Is that due to the perceived increased risk with inaccurate financial details? Is that accurate, Amber?
Well, okay, so there's a couple things. So when it would report on your credit report is if you actually got away with it and the lender actually funded the loan. And then they found out there was fraud, and then they had to take the house back. So foreclose on you. A foreclosure is a big deal. Anything like that is a big deal, right? So and then as far as like, what was the next question you asked me?
I just was saying, is that even true? Like, I wasn't sure if they could keep you in the loan and then just make it a really not favorable interest rate or not favorable terms for you.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When something like one of these situations happens, and let's say we're doing a government loan, like an FHA or VA, I always tell the veterans, you don't want to mess with VA, but you don't want to mess with any of them, right? So that could stop you from being able to get an FHA or VA. So if you have to then be truthful about all your stuff and then go to a conventional loan because they've black flagged your file, then depending on your credit score, yes, you could absolutely have to pay higher interest rates, on something. So like, tell the truth.
This is also just kind of reminds me about how the casinos work, right? Once you're in that little black book, you're never getting out. So let's take a little bit of a guidance from the gambling capital of the world, Las Vegas, and let's just stay on the up and up. All right, we got some great questions coming in, Amber. Thank you guys for always participating. Love you for being here. Super grateful. Ashad says, hey, Lacey and Amber, with 40 to 50% down, will the banks ask a lot of questions for the mortgage? Does how much money you put down lessen the scrutiny of your file?
It depends on the type of loan. Most of them, like conventional, FHA, VA, if you're putting 40 to 50% down, you probably just want to do a conventional loan unless you're a veteran. Like FHA is probably not the best bet. Most of the time with that much down, we're going to run an automated system, and the automated system is going to ask you for more limited documentation because you're putting more money down. So they might not need to see certain things on it, but
you're less of a risk that way, right? You're a little bit less of a risk, but it's still money.
It's still money, but they still will ask for things because they still want to be able to verify that if you put a job, they're still going to make sure that everything on the application is true and correct.
Right.
But a lot of times you have to provide less documentation if you're putting down more money because you're less of a risk to the bank.
Yep. Got it. All right. Let's see what the other ones are. We've got DLVTT. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. I hope you made it back home safely from the new year. Are they not aware? Funny stories. Are they not aware that they're deceiving themselves? Let's talk about that component of it, if you could.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, they are deceiving themselves. Like when we talk to people, when we first start a conversation, you can see we're open people, right? We're open-minded. We're going to help you through whatever it is, right? So like, if there's a problem, it's always better to just be upfront and say what's happening so that we can say, okay, here's the game plan. Maybe there's a cosigner, maybe there's this, maybe there's that, instead of pushing yourself to being able to not get anything in the future. Plus, like living a life like that does not lead to good things. I mean, if I'm going to talk as a mom right now,
we don't need a mom
action. You want me to turn on my mom voice? No. One action can lead to all kinds of different roads, right? Do it right.
Stay up. Listen to now, guys. We need to talk about this. What's Matt Smith? Hey, Matt. Really good to see you. He's going out to Colorado this weekend, and then we're going to meet next week, so I can finally give him his prize that he won on our live stream a couple weeks ago. What's the rule to qualify as a first-time home buyer? If we own a ghetto house that's worth 16. Why is it a ghetto house, Matt? What's going on here? If we own a house that's worth $16K in Nebraska that was bought in cash, does that make you not a first-time home buyer? Oh, good question, Matt. All right, let's answer this one for him.
That is you always ask good questions. Yeah,
he's the best.
He needs to be licensed. Okay, so it depends. So it depends. If you're going for grants, typically what grants will say is if you've owned anything in the last 3 years. Now this is on title. So like when you buy a house cash, a lot of times it's whatever's on title, but there are specific ones that will just talk about like because that was only on title and you haven't done anything on credit, sometimes you can get away with that. So that's a matter of like what grant you qualify for and what their rules are on it.
What about when you're going for a loan and not a grant? Isn't it like a 3-year period or something?
Even grants are a 3-year period. So like
Okay.
what's considered, what is categorized as first time home buyer is if you haven't owned a house in the last 3 years. And
That's what I was wanting.
that's on title. So if you haven't been on title of a house in the last 3 years, that's what's considered first time home buyer.
Awesome.
Great
Ashad
question.
says, how long is the loan loan approval valid for?
So typically the loan approval, I love your guys' questions. This is awesome. So typically the loan approval is valid for however long your credit is valid for. So your credit is usually 90 to 120 days, depending on the loan program. So yeah, you're looking at 90 to 120 days.
I love it, love it, love it. Hey, Sammy. Hey, Nita Applebum. Nita Applebum. Nita Applebum. Sorry, I'm going to do it every time she joins. Sin City Syndicate, always such a sweetheart, sending me hearts and rings. And then says, my next question, what is your ring size? You flirt. Look at you. Wouldn't you like to know? I'll text you on Instagram. I'll let you know what that is, actually. Thank you for being so sweet and for always tuning in. Really, really appreciate you. And the last one I have here before we sign off is DLVTT. Are you people really so naive that they don't expect information to be checked? And that if you lie about your financial situation, is it considered fraud? Any future applications will be impossible. You said it. You said it. You always say it. He's another amazing follower who always gives great questions and great commentary. We're so grateful for you guys. Boomer heard it. Applebum. Tribe Called Quest. What? So excited. So super, super excited, guys. Amber, can we plug what we're doing next? Have we decided what we're talking about next? Let me pull up our notes here. Okay.
We can absolutely plug it. We're good at that, right?
We are good marketers. Okay, here's what we're doing. Okay.
One more thing too that Lacey usually says. We don't care if you're looking to buy a house today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now. Give us a call right now.
Look at you.
She says it's so much better than me, but I figured I would try. Okay.
I like that little mic drop that you just did, Amber. I am completely turning you into an online marketer. We don't care if you're shopping for a house now or 10 years from now. We just want to get you from where you are to where you want to be, which is right here in our neon hometown. Click the link in the description. Text us on the phone number. Amber, you did a great job. I think you beat me. I think that's your job from now on the live streams. Oh, you just got yourself a job. Okay, you know what I want to do is I want to try to get us to talk a little bit about house appraisals, but we're waiting to hear back from a guy who's going to come on and actually be interviewed with us. Brent Jones is one of the best, honestly, in town when it comes to appraisals. So we're going to be doing an interview with him. I think that's going to happen later this month. Some of the other stuff that we said, 5 lies that are preventing you from buying a house. I think that's what we're going to do next. So join us on Wednesday at noon Pacific Standard Time. We're going to talk about 5 lies that you're either telling yourself or that the media is telling you, or basically just 5 bullshit pieces of information that you're using to make the decision to not buy a house. We're going to help you get into a house. This is the year, guys. I've seen it from a lot of other content creators because they were probably watching us, but that's cool. You can watch us. You can bite off of our stuff. They're saying the same thing we've been saying for the last 4 years. People who buy between October, November, December, all the way through the end of February are going to be looked at as the people who bought at the beginning stages of COVID. We're going to be looking at those people and going, damn it, I wish I made that decision. Now, if you cannot do it during that time frame, that's okay, but at least speak to us during this time frame so we can give you the scoop on what's really going on, and maybe you can make some adjustments in your plans to buy a house. We desperately want to know what your plans are. We want to be a part of your journey now, not tomorrow and not next week. So let's talk. I need friends. I'm lonely. Can you tell? I'm sitting here all by myself, very lonely. I need a friend.
And she's a great friend too. She'll be the life of every party you walk. You definitely want to walk in with Lacey on your side.
You definitely will probably ghost Lacey and pull a Houdini because she's too much to hang out with. But that's how we do. I've got one more question we're going to jump into, and then we're going to let you guys go for today. Thank you again for joining us. DLVTT says in Europe, we have something called cooperative apartment. Does that exist in Nevada? Is there any loan possibility for such kind of an apartment? We don't do co-ops here, do we?
Well, because in Europe, in different parts of the country, apartments are considered like we consider condos.
Right. So essentially it's condos. Right. Yeah, I don't think we have co-ops here. I don't think we do.
Yeah. So I'd have to more look into the rule, what that actually means, and then tell you what's comparable in the United States to it. But
yeah, they have co-ops over in New York, and I think LA has some of those as well. I don't think we have them here in Vegas. maybe you should group a bunch of friends together and create one and come on out here and see if you can make that happen and start a new whole trend in the housing industry. I do not think we have those though. We do sell condos though individually. We sell townhomes, duplexes, fourplexes, apartment complexes. What do you need? We got it. I'm just kidding.
That's why I was like, is it like a fourplex? That's where I was like, I wasn't sure what that means.
No, I don't think we have them, but you know what we'll do? We'll do a little more research and find out. I've never seen them come up for my thing. And if we do have them, they are very few and far between. So we'll definitely follow up on that. Once again, Amber, I want to thank you for your amazing knowledge. Story time today was like straight up candy. Thank you for that. I love sitting back and letting you take the reins for these things. It's so nice to see you live. Thank you again for always bringing your amazing energy, but also your knowledge. Guys, Amber's not only licensed here in Vegas, she's licensed in many other states. I too I'm not licensed. I am licensed just here, but I have friends and people who I have personally vetted to represent you as a realtor in many other states, actually around the world. So if you're thinking about selling your home before you move here, don't do anything until you call. Again, just a reiteration, call us at the beginning of your process. Let us be there. Let us help you through this. And please don't become one of the horror stories that we just shared today. No. Let's work together. Don't make her pull out that mom voice. Let's hear it again, Amber.
No, mom. I'm not going to. Oh, you're giving the mom face.
You give me the mom. You give me the voice. I'll give the face.
Now we can make better decisions next time, right?
It all starts with one action, guys. Now, I'm sorry for my part in this argument, but what you did over there was not. Now I'm reiterating what I just happened with my kids over the holidays. All right, we got to get off this thing. Thank you guys for joining us live. We'll see you Wednesday where we talk about 5 lies. 5 lies.
More drama.
5 lies, no bullshit. Let's do this. Let's get your ass to Vegas. We'll see you guys soon. Talk to you soon.